VFL Premiership Football, proudly brought to you by Nissan Australia, Carlton and United Breweries, your State Insurance Office and State Bank Victoria.
Welcome to Friday night under lights at the Melbourne Cricket Ground. Neither Richmond nor Fitzroy can make the finals, but they are level on 7 wins, and the winner tonight could finish as high as 10th and the loser as low as 13th. So there's plenty to play for in the last match of the season.
Yes, a very good evening everyone, and for the final time this year, welcome to Friday Night Replay. Round 22 kicks off tonight with the Richmond-Fitzroy clash at the MCG, the chance for both teams to finish the year on a high note after some good and perhaps not so good performances during the course of the season. In recent outings, the Tigers have won 5 of their past 6 clashes, scoring a 62-point victory when they last met. That was on April the 30th in round 5, and Michael Roach on that occasion kicking no fewer than 7 goals. Nostalgia also played its part tonight. Jimmy Jess bowed out in the Richmond reserves, while for David Parkin it was his final game as coach of the Lions, whom he joined in 1986. Our commentators at the cricket ground are Drew Morphett, Peter McKenna and Bernie Quinlan, and we pick up play with some highlights of the first quarter.
Paul Broderick off the left boot, up towards full forward. Kapler. And Osborne, who kicked 8 last week, he was almost playing on. Pickering thought so, but Osborne will have a set shot from right in front, and he'll start this week on a high note like he finished last week. Distance about 15 metres. Osborne starts the night with a goal.
And he's played many fine games for Fitzroy. Ross Thornton. This is Board. Terry Board towards half-forward. Here's Brian Lees now. Look at the colour of that hair as he gets it back towards his teammate there in Lambert. Out wide. This is centre wing Michael Thomson. He brings it to half-forward.
High kick. Oh, Justin Pickering at the front of the pack. A good mark. Just outside the 50. Steers it low. Beautiful pass. And what a lead that was in the mark to Hogg. Right in front and kicking from about 40 metres. Beautiful kick. Tigers level the scores.
One of the fittest blokes playing league football.
Well, against Fitzroy, he did a great job. It's on centre wing again. Oh, gee, a high tackle is on Andy Goodwin, who's back in the Richmond side.
Be a bit careful with those high tackles. That could be reportable.
Goodwin towards half-forward. A lovely kick finds Nichols. Nichols, the lead's on again by Hogg. Out he comes, and he's marked. So he's been proving a little bit quick for Gary Pert at the moment. Jeff Hogg, 45 metres out.
Yeah, it's the only way to beat Gary Pert because he's so strong. It's no use trying to stand in the goal square and bustle him out of the contest.
Well, this is Jeff Hogg. Will kick from 45 metres. His last kick was beautiful. It's another one. Yes.
It's quite cool, but I believe there's a change on the way, so it might get cooler, windier, and perhaps even wet later on. Just over 12 minutes to go in the first quarter. Low scoring today, 2-1 to 1-2.
I feel that Jimmy Wynn might be picking up Michael Mitchell. Bernie, of just tagging him, I think.
Well, Kepler was near him a minute ago, but you could be right there, Peter.
Ironmonger was the ruckman there as they shovel it out again, and the Roys come through Blakey right down towards half-forward, and the umpire's paid at the ruse. And you can see that big bandage on the thigh. Apparently he's got calcification of the thigh, Paul Roos. He swings onto the left foot, a wobbly old kick went straight to Armstrong, and the umpire's going to pay it. Back. Now the mark wasn't taken there, was it, Bernie?
It went 2.5 metres, that kick.
Well, I'm sure the mark wasn't taken that far towards the goal.
No way was it a mark. It didn't cover the required distance.
It went about 6 metres, that kick.
He did remarkably well to see it.
Well, the Tasmanian Matthew Armstrong, a nice looking kick towards the forward line, and it's kicked by Osborne, the goal! Oh. Blakey to Brett Stevens. He was looking for Carafa, he's found him. And Anthony Carafa, good football to Stevens, beautiful running play. Blakey, probably shouldn't have given that last hand pass though. It's on centre wing, this is Frangalis. Quick hand pass. Wilson went for the kick off the ground, he missed. In went Blakey. looking for Strooper. A lot of pressure on out there at the moment. He caught one in the head, David Strooper, and the umpire ignored that one or else didn't see it. And eventually it's forced over the line on centre wing.
I didn't say he got one. Fitzroy by a point. Just under 9.5 minutes left in the first quarter. Goodwin to Michael Pickering. Not a bad kick from a standing start. Laurie caught in the tackle, comes Richmond's way. Honeybun does the tapping, comes out here to Mitchell. Oh, great play by Mitchell. Keeps his footing, shot for goal, is offline. Nichols missing, but levelling the scores.
Well, 2-2 apiece as Gary Pert brings it back into play. A lovely kick to Broderick, who's in pretty good form tonight. Paul Broderick. Oh, gee, Blakey. No, it wasn't. It was Brockhurst, in fact, weighted back. McGrath, a quick kick towards half forward, and the mark has been taken there by Peter Wilson. Wilson swings onto the left foot. He's brought it out wide, looking for Justin Pickering. Pretty good year by Justin Pickering. Back to Wilson is dangerous. Oh, good play. It's a hand pass from Board to Roos. Roos into an open goal for Fitzroy, and I think he's missed. He has. So beautiful football is let down by a poor kick by the captain.
And it's a golden opportunity. There's Jeff Southby, one of the Fitzroy training staff, now on the selection committee.
And Gary Wilson up in the box as well, and I wonder whether he might be the senior coach next year. He's been one of those who's been mentioned. Punch forward for Fitzroy. Back there in defence is Nichols. Runs out of room, but goes back to Manton. Wilson at centre half back. Peter Wilson on the burst. Lees to full forward. Hogg in front again. Might come back to him. Out of the air. Mitchell down there, but running out of room. The ball skips away from the goal square. Unluckily for Richmond then, and out about 20 metres around.
And if Michael Mitchell couldn't get there, I don't think Bernie anyone could.
He's got plenty of toe, hasn't he, mate? Michael Mitchell. Well, he's a good player this year.
There's Kevin Bartlett. Excellent job, Kevin Bartlett. In his first year, he's got a terrific football brain. I think they'll develop into a fair side. Here's Pickering. Caught. It's a quick hand pass in. Carafa. Back to Wind. Wind to Blakey. Gee, they really do run that ball beautifully. This player's pretty impressive. Terry Board. I think it was his dad played for Carlton many years ago. He also named Terry. Brian Lees. Quick hand pass out wide, and well, it just doesn't seem that long ago since Terry Board played for Carlton, Bernie.
I can't remember at all, Pete.
Well, I'll tell you what, young Terry's had 7 possessions in an excellent start. Ironmonger, and Goodwin comes late. Nichols from centre wing to half forward. Stevens, good mark.
Doing well, Bernie.
He's a good player, Brett Stevens, playing centre half back on Honeybun.
He was a full forward in Western Australia before he came over here. Pert's kick. Didn't get much distance, didn't travel too well off the boot. Wilson raised the elbow, aimed to deliver it, and just held it back. Michael Pickering, centre of the ground. Oh, that's good play. Goodwin on the run. High to centre half forward. Egan. Not quite. Mitchell's there. Well, how'd he get that? Weightman. Goal coming up. Hogg. I think Weightman went the pass rather than for goal. And they finished up with a behind at it.
Well, this is a very, very even contest. You saw the runner there for Richmond, Paul Callery, former Melbourne and, of course, St Kilda rover. There's Pickering doing a little bit of pushing and shoving. He really is a good player. There he is, Paul Curry in the centre of the picture there. And one of the smallest players ever to have played league football, Paul Curry, and I think he's in the VFL 200 club.
I think he is in the records as being the smallest.
Well, there's Ironmonger. Goodwin's done reasonably well against him. Now, Matthew Knights. He and Trent Nichols, the two lookalikes, we'll have to watch them tonight. Michael Gale, a good mark at half-back.
Scores dead level, 2-3 apiece. Gale's kick short of the wing, and Roos has really covered some ground. And Roos has marked this in between half-back, flank and wing. His pass is only to the wing. Laurie couldn't take the mark. Stevens also covering ground. And the ball is seen out deliberately. Free kick to Poole.
Poole towards half forward. That was Honeybun. Hasn't been in the players yet. He's been in pretty good form, David Honeybun. But Brett Stevens really holding him well. But of course Stevens beat Peter Foster last week.
He can play a bit. Yes, he's a good player and he sticks to his task.
Well, there's Ironmonger, who got that out beautifully to Pekin. Further afield, Terry Board again brings it towards half forward. Roos, oh, courageous by Roos. He really did show some courage. Carafa over the head was a good effort. Looking for McGrath. Goodwin caught one high. McGrath in there again. And Leon Harris. And the umpire has no hesitation to come in and bounce it. And this will take place between centre wing and half forward for Fitzroy.
Huge pack around this. Lambert sweeps the hand pass away. Oh, Wynn didn't see the tackler Mitchell coming.
Been played in the back.
Well, he just attacked the man with the ball. I suppose he did come from behind. Anyway, free kick to Wynn from centre wing up towards centre half forward. All Richmond here. He's the only Fitzroy man there. McGrath nearly took the mark. Weightman whips it away to Wilson. Oh, contested ball here. Board still doing well. How did he get it to Blakey? Up inside half forward. To the back. Manton goes for the boundary line and finds it successfully.
Well, there's John Manton. I think, I don't know if you're on Sports World that morning, our Sunday morning program on Channel 7, Drew, when he was lying in hospital with Michael Roach.
In separate beds.
That's right. There's Armstrong down towards full forward. Oh, geez, that was a high tackle. Frangalis comes out of defence, brings it wide. A mark, Justin Pickering. Now they love playing on the Pickering brothers. Off he goes onto the left foot. He's bringing it towards the half forward line. This is Mitchell. Let's see if he runs off onto that right foot. He's got tons of pace. There he goes. And he kicks it long. Gary Pert in front. Fisted away. Punched away by Stevens. Went straight to Hogg. Hogg hooks it back. Is that his third goal? Yes.
Well, that was a bit lucky again, I suppose. Hogg's kicked his third goal, but Stevens could have taken possession of that ball. He went for safety, or what he thought was safety first. Tried to punch the ball clear over the boundary line. All he succeeded in doing was hitting it to where three Richmond players were standing, and one of those was Jeff Hogg. What an excellent snap at goal that was from Jeff Hogg. Magnificent goal.
We've had 5 goals kicked to date by just 2 players. Blakey over the ball, and the umpire says he got one in the back, and John Blakey gets the free kick. Hogg's kicked 3 and Osborne's kicked 2. The 2 full forwards. Blakey's kick out wide. Good mark to McGrath. Wheels around onto the right boot to centre the ball, and he's found Harris, but went straight over his head. He might have leapt for that one. To Pickering. Goes to Mitchell. And into Lambert. Weightman on the run. Beautiful play, Dale Weightman. Egan. And that was a good spoil. Egan looked a very big chance there until Brockhurst came to spoil.
Yes, the pass wasn't really ideal. Egan's not tall enough to go for those high ones. He needs to be on a quick lead to take the marks out on his chest.
Ironmonger against Honeybun. There's the little champ Weightman. Is that a mark to Pickering? Pickering on the left foot from the boundary has a pot shot at the goals and has just missed. There he is, Justin Pickering, brother of Michael. Excellent year he's had on the wing. 3-4, plays 2-3, but really there's nothing in this game.
Pert kicks in, short to Gale. Gary Pert's had 3 kicked on him already. Up towards centre wing. Carafa comes to the back. Thomson. That's good play. Lambert getting out into space. Stevens again. Couldn't quite take the mark this time. Mitchell. Top play. Back to Lambert. In the direction of Hogg once more. Pert in front and Ironmonger there to help him. And Big Bad John takes the mark.
Ironmonger. He's gone wide to Brett Stevens. To Kapler. Kapler's marked on the half-back flank with 33 seconds of time to go in this quarter. Kapler to centre wing. It's over the heads of the players. This is Broderick, though, who had a very good first quarter. Now it's Lambert. And eventually Paul Roos forces Lambert and the ball over the line, getting very close to the quarter-time siren.
Lambert 8 possessions in this first quarter. Time just about out. Throw in at half forward. Fitzroy perhaps a chance to get a score before the siren. So that's quarter time, and Richmond 3-4 lead Fitzroy 2-3.
Only 2 players have kicked the goals. I think you said Laurie a couple of times.
Yeah.
You probably thought it was 34, did you? It was 24. Actually, everyone used to mix those two up a bit.
Very similar.
Because 20, they look the same.
You shouldn't when one bloke's not even in the lineup. Jesus.
Thanks, Mervyn.
Thanks, Merv.
Hey, mate, is it?
Yeah, I'm a very jumpy after that last one, Merv.
Is that a new purchase, Quinners?
No, mate.
It's a beauty.
No, it's a previous years, but it's very warm.
It's excellent. Okay.
Malcolm listening down there.
What's that? Hogg.
Is he taller than Pert?
Hogg 190, Pert 190, so they're the same. Purdy's a bit hunchback.
Yeah, that's right. Hogg does look taller.
Yeah, well, you're a champion. I don't know. I don't care what they say about you. I reckon you're okay.
Thanks, Merv.
Yeah.
Port win on Sunday, will they? You reckon?
Not a bad.
Where's it at? Oh, that's cruel, isn't it?
A television venue, beautiful.
Only the ABC could do that.
You haven't got a stirrer, Merv, have you?
Shot right have been dragged for him.
Before.
The first quarter.
Is Brockhurst got tats?
No. Yeah.
Thought I saw a tat on his
Yeah,
right
Brockhurst
arm.
has, yeah.
Is he?
Yep.
There. Look.
Yeah, he has.
Doesn't look tough enough to have tats.
Is he tough? Not opening the mouth on there, Bernie. And that Leeser's had a lemon rinse. What about his hair?
Brad Nichols.
He's gone the jacket.
Oh, Nichols and Knights look alike.
Mate, they all look alike. There's 40 blokes all look the same.
So hard for you go.
Their numbers are shockers too, aren't they?
Yeah,
I should have it on the front of the Guernsey.
Thanks, mate. They shouldn't have that sash at the back. Entertaining first quarter, and the full forwards enjoyed it. Richmond 3-4, all 3 goals coming to Jeffrey Hogg, and Fitzroy 2-3, and both goals going to Richard Osborne. Full forwards going well. When these teams last met, it was in round 5, and Richmond had a big win at Princes Park over Fitzroy, and 23-15, just about their highest score for the season. Well, as we mentioned at the start, both teams playing for quite a bit individually, even though they're down the ladder, and a pretty good first quarter, Bernie.
Yes, goals have been pretty hard to come by, haven't they? Considering 52 goals were kicked in the reserves match. But it just shows you the value of the full forwards, doesn't it, Peter? The full forwards are being the only players on the ground who have kicked goals.
Good boy, Bernie. Keep it up.
There's Jeff Hogg, who's kicked 3. He's been in fine form at full forward, moving around well. And at the other end of the ground, here's well, rather lucky goal to Richard Osborne, waiting at the back of the pack. Falls in his hands and, well, I suppose in the right spot at the right time, but a very lucky goal, that one. Another goal here on this occasion to Jeff Hogg. Brett Stevens tried to thump it out of bounds, but Hogg in the right position. An excellent snap there.
And the statistics in the first quarter, well, not much in the kicks or marking. Hand passing, well, Fitzroy, I reckon they had 8 of those hand passes in one move forward down the outer wing. 38-28 they lead. Shots at goal 8-5 in favour of Richmond, but the margin is 7 points in favour of Richmond. Malcolm Blight is on the boundary line. Malcolm?
Thanks, Drew. Yes, Kevin Bartlett was just talking to David Honeybun. He just feels there's a problem at centre-half forward there, and obviously he wants the players to keep at it, whereas David Parkin was interesting. He was talking about the Rovers running with the Richmond Rovers. That is, Weightman and Free and those little blokes that really are causing a few problems for David Parkin.
So the second quarter about to get underway. Weightman 5 possessions in the first quarter. The ball up and Ironmonger wins the tap. Hacked out of the air up towards half forward. Clever hand pass to Free. Off the left boot goes to Hogg. Oh, almost a sensational mark. Weightman front of the pack. Goal coming up. Great start to the turn by the Tigers.
Yes, and that's the value of the leading full forward again on that occasion. Even if he didn't take the mark, it was an excellent effort to try to take the mark. There's Gary Purdy, looks as though he may be injured. He hurt his shoulder last week. He was suspect. But have a look at that play again. An excellent leading play by Hogg, and the rover, the value of a good rover in the forward pocket also, Weightman. But it does open up the play. Why does he hurt the leg this time, I think, Gary Purdy?
Well, we're back to the centre. A handy goal. There's Trent Nichols out of the centre to the brilliant Mitchell. Oh, look at the way he weaved and dodged. Still got in the hand pass. Free is caught. That'll be holding the ball. And the umpires are spot on tonight. They've hardly made a blue.
Coming off the ground, Gary Purdy may have injured that hamstring. He missed about 4 or 5 weeks. And it looks to be fairly serious.
Well, that's rotten luck. He is hobbling, so he won't come back, I wouldn't think. We'll get a report later, we hope, from Malcolm Blight. Now, here is Anthony Carafa. They could do with a quick goal. Leon Harris. Oh, he's caught. Frank Garlis is there. Wilson. John Ironmonger. Quick hand pass. Finds Kepler. Kepler swings onto the left foot. It's a high floater towards the forward pocket. I think this will float out of bounds. It does. And the free kick will be taken by Manton. There he is. Oh, he's hobbling. Now, let's hope that is a hamstring and not a knee injury.
Well, Gary Pert, 17 games this season. A shame to finish the last one like that, but he's got time to recover. Probably got about 8 months.
Should have marked that, Osborne.
Frangalis' kick out wide to Thomson. Short of the wing. Wilson. Poole drops the mark. Goes back after it. Loses the contest and Kepler whips it away. Well, that ball spun and stayed in. Ooh, incredible. And now it's gone out and we'll have a throw in.
Well, I wouldn't mind betting, even though Hogg has kicked 3 goals on Gary Purdy, he'll be glad to see him off.
I'm sure he will.
Because there he is. He's in pain. Gary, now let's see.
I think Strouper's going back there to take over.
Well, a big job for him with a man who's kicked 3 goals on a champion full-back. He'll have his tail up, Jeff Hogg. Now, the Roys are through Pickering to Kepler towards the half-forward line, but it beats Craig McGrath over the line. He's been attended by Brian Lees. McGrath's been around for a few years now, alternating between centre-half forward and full forward.
He's played about 90 games in the reserves, Craig McGrath.
Just one of those in-betweeners, I would think. There's Goodwin, and actually Peter Wilson came over the back, and the players pounce on top of the ball, and the umpire will bounce it close to that 50-metre line. The scoreboard reads Richmond 4-4, Fitzroy 2-3, but it really is a pretty even contest.
Goodwin, and straight back out of bounds. Now Malcolm Blight's down there with Gary Pert. Malcolm?
Yes, Drew, it would appear that Gary Pert has twisted his left knee. He's in a lot of pain at the moment. He is starting to walk now to go to the dressing room, so I doubt whether we'll see Gary Pert back again tonight.
No, it doesn't look good. Michael Thomson bursting through the pack. Tapped on by Honeybun. Oh, they're still going forward. Now to Mitchell, the sprinter, right up to the 50. Will he kick a big goal? Inboard he goes. Justin Pickering off the right boot and hooked it too far. Hogg's there again, and he's got it off the behind post, snaps a goal. But
yes, out of bounds.
The umpire was right. It hit the behind post and it'll be a throw-in.
Good try, though, by Jeff Hogg. But the goal umpire right on the scene there to make the proper decision. John Ironmonger certainly has got the height advantage over the Richmond ruckman. Honeybun's going to do battle with him. And in fact, he got it down. Here's a chance for Hogg into an open goal, but I think it might be a free kick in the meantime. It is. It won't be counted, that goal. It'll be a free kick going down there to Wynn. Wynn wide to Brockhurst, to Stevens. And Stevens wide, that could be out in the full. Yes, it is. And Kepler had taken the mark, but it was over the line, and Michael Thomson will take that free kick.
Crowd yelling for a 50. It was right over his head and back 20 metres behind him. Well, last year that would not only have been 50, it might have been reportable. They were pretty hot on that last year. Thomson up inside half forward. Honeybun crashed to the ground. They'll fight for it at ground level. Well, Hogg might be going for some sort of record. He kicked 3 goals in the first quarter. He's actually steered 2 more through in this quarter. Neither of them counted. So he's been pretty accurate tonight. Ironmonger taps in the direction of Egan. Kepler does well to get it out of there for Fitzroy, but it goes to Thomson. Back at half forward. Down towards the pocket. Good safe mark to Gale.
Now this is Michael Gale, deep in that back pocket area. He's another former Tasmanian. Good mark to McGrath, who was almost off too. Craig McGrath on the half-back line. He's gone short. Leon Harris. He's gone short to Kepler. And Darren Kepler is out on centre wing. Another short one. Now, this is Paul Broderick. Or is it? No, it's not. It's Michael Gale. And gee, he's covered some territory there. He's right down the back pocket a moment ago. Gale. He brings it to half forward. Oh, over the back. So now it's a chance for Fitzroy through Carafa. It was meant for Ruse. Now it's Ironmonger. McGrath off the ground. We've got a lot of system up there. Now Ironmonger to Carafa. Armstrong lines up the goals. 40 metres out. Matthew Armstrong doesn't come back, but he's put it through for a point. The Lions creep a little bit closer. 2-4 to 4-4. 2 goals straight the difference.
It's short kicking, although they retain possession. It takes them a long time to get the ball into the forward line and allows the Richmond defenders to cover all the players.
Armstrong not quite as dominant tonight as he was last week against Footscray when he played an absolutely superb game. And tonight he's on Knights. Oh, McGrath. Well, in form tonight he should never have played 90 in the reserves. Centering kick, wind. Still 60 to 65 metres out from goal. Another short pass to Blakey, but they've got it inside 50. And John Blakey right in front. Still Knight. He'd give this a bit of a shake.
Not a long kick, John Blakey. We'll just struggle a little bit to make the distance.
Close. And just into the goalpost, 4 are behind. So, well, neither of us really wrong. He gave it a shake, and he struggled as well.
Well, Bernie is the kicking coach down there, or skills coach, so he should know about the kicking ability of these Fitzroy players. There's Brian Lees towards centre wing. Ironmonger punches it away. Good play by Lambert as he comes through the centre of the ground to Justin Pickering, a daisy cutter. Meant for Egan. Oh, he pushed himself in the back then. Comes back to Knights, ducks the head, gets in a quick hand pass. Pekin to Strooper. Strooper wide. That was good umpiring. These 2 young umpires have done an excellent job. Ruse to Harris. And they've gone short all night, Fitzroy. This is Leon Harris. Short again. Oh, it'll come off though. Keith Thomas. Short again. This is Wynn. I wonder if he'll go short. Yes, to Kepler, but they still have the ball. Kepler runs 60 metres out from goal. A beautiful long kick. Ruse at the back. But it's a good mark in front to Richmond, and that's taken by Manton.
I feel they're going far too short. Fitzroy, they're giving the Richmond defenders plenty of time to get there and pick up their men.
Yes, they're leading clearly in kicks and hand passes, Fitzroy. And the gap has widened in the second quarter. John Ironmonger, well, he shrugged off a player last week, Steve McPherson, and was reported for it, but was tossed out pretty quickly at the tribunal on Monday night. Well, have to be a bit careful with that swinging arm, though. Oh, shocking kick. Well, the mark was dropped down there by 3. Chance here for Fitzroy. He snapped a goal out wide and hasn't got the distance. Michael Pickering, you're off, son. Through Manton to Wilson. And Wilson up towards centre wing. That's great play. Nichols. He's just gone the die at the front of the hare. And he keeps on going. Good shepherd behind. Nichols, a great pass to Egan. Well, beautiful football.
Well, it was, Drew, a fantastic pass. Now Egan is going with a long bomb towards goals. Oh, he's gone onto a beautiful drop putt. This will go close. Up they go. It's right in front of the teeth of goal. And it is punched through, in fact, for a behind to Richmond. So 4-5, 2-5, 2 goals the difference.
Much better system there in the Richmond forward line.
Well, they at least kick long. Fitzroy mucking around with the ball. Stevens, he's not sure what to do with it. Brett Stevens, he's gone short. A lovely pass finds Harris. He'll go off. Leon Harris. Wide to Kapler. Can he get there? Another one out of bounds on the fall. Well, that's twice they've done it out there when looking for Kapler. And Brian Lees, who, as I said in the first quarter, has got to the peroxide, I think, in the last couple of weeks, and got the Trevor Barker look.
Kevin Bartlett say to him, go and get that stuff out of your hair, and I don't think he could get it out. Anyway, Bartlett left him in the seniors. I suppose it doesn't really matter what shape your stomach's in, does it, or what colour your hair is. Away goes Lambert. On to Pickering, but his kick astray, and the mark taken in defence by Brockhurst. And Matthew Armstrong down behind play. Bad news for Fitzroy, they already have Pert off the ground. Oh, what a pick-up by Blakey. Osborne playing all over the ground. Here he is back behind half-back's flank, and he's kicked both of Fitzroy's goals at full forward. Centre wing. Richmond have the numbers. Michael Pickering.
Pickering or Richmond looking good at the moment. Pickering to the centre of the ground. Ironmonger's doing a power of work. Gee, he's in good form. Over to Harris. To Armstrong. They've got loose men everywhere on the rebound. Broderick wants to hand pass. Is he going to? No, he's going to have a pot shot at the goals. Broderick! I think he's put it through. Yes!
Yes, much better rebound football there from Fitzroy. Very wide open forward line. Could have hand passed it over the top to Kapler. There it is again. Broderick, a very promising young player. Kicking on his natural kicking foot, the left foot. Kicks just about as well on his right foot as well.
Poor Broderick, who's playing in just his 9th game. And once Osborne came up the ground, Manton only went halfway with him, was really caught out.
I thought Osborne must have been shifted, but he's back there at full forward.
And it left the forward line just wide open. It was a certain goal. Oh, stolen away from Ironmonger. Lambert, red hot. He'll be in jail on Monday for that one. Half forward. Oh, the hand pass by Pickering missed his brother Michael. Michael tidies up and delivers a good pass. Lambert again, getting lots of the ball. Unmarked in the forward pocket. Here's a chance for Knights. Good kick. Yes!
Well, he's threaded it through. An amazing goal on the left foot. Richmond really playing well so far. They've teamed well. They've had excellent players. The Pickering brothers have been good. And on that occasion, the great goal to Matthew Knight. It was also good play by Lambert to get it on very quickly. Didn't wait around. And Knights was there by himself. And that's a beautiful kick for goal.
Well, beautiful vision, as you said, Bernie, by Lambert. To see that player. And, young Knights, there's Goodwin. Oh, beautifully, a long hit out. They won't catch Mitchell. Mitchell hooks it back. Egan punched away from him and over the boundary line. Philip Egan. And Brockhurst doing a bad job on Egan so far tonight. It's a very dangerous player, Philip Egan. Ironmonger is really controlling the rucks. Hogg. Well, went straight to Brockhurst. Kapler to board. Kapler in there again. Over the line it goes at half forward for Richmond. Well, they just can't catch up at the moment, Bernie. Fitzroy, they're 2 down.
I'd like to see them go more direct, Peter. They've wasted a lot of opportunities.
Honeybun, number 42, wins. It comes down to wind, though. Kick short of the wing. Kapler getting the hand pass into Roos. Roos pops it pretty high. Osborne wrestling off his opponent, almost a mark on Manton. Lees is there. From a prone position gets a kick away. Now it's back to Knights, who kicked the last goal for Richmond. Here he is back at half-back. Through Lees it goes. On to Lambert. 13 possessions, Lambert. Wilson, wide, hospital ball. Frangalis loses it. Lambert again to Weightman. And Richmond killing Fitzroy at the moment. Free. Up towards full forward, Hogg. And a chance for Pickering. Rugby tackle. In the back, says the umpire. Free kick and a fight way down the other end.
The trainer's going to cop one here.
Oh, they're right into it. Craig McGrath's a Fitzroy player, and he's having a little battle with Lees.
Well, here's Justin Pickering, not far off centre, and the man on the mark about 30 metres from goal. It'll be a handy break to Richmond if he can kick this. They lead by 2 goals at the moment, and now lead by 3.
Yes, well, Richmond doing most of the attacking in this quarter. It's full credit to them. They've been fantastic this year, the way they've fought back from last year. Wooden spooners. I'll tell you, a player I've been very impressed with tonight is Lambert. He's been in everything. He's a top young player, Lambert. And they look as if they could have a good year next year, Richmond. A couple of good, bigger players on their forward line, and they'll do well.
Well, in one... 3 goals, and as Drew said, pretty handy little break at this stage of the game. Fitzroy would want to get a couple of quick ones. We must remember earlier in the year that Richmond copped a belting. I think it was against the Bears and up north. And then they left their side unchanged, kept playing the young players. So they've got to be congratulated to see the ball kicked further afield. That was by Kapler, taken by Fringalis, straight over the line. Halfway between centre wing and half forward for Fitzroy. There's Gary Fringalis on screen, formerly of the Sydney Swans. Ironmonger really has been in fine form. He's beaten this time though by Goodwin. Carafa out wide to Roos. Roos brings it to half forward, but there's no one there except Pickering. Over to Wilson. That was Michael Pickering, of course. Wilson's handball to himself and then chases after it. He's got it. Gets in a quick hand pass. It's on centre wing. Jim Wynn brings it to half forward. Oh, that's a poor kick, because all he has done is kick it straight to Lambert.
Is he playing a game, Lambert? That is now something like 15 possessions. Fringalis steers the pass beautifully to Thomson. Puts it wide and Richmond full of running. Michael Pickering has time to pick up the bouncing ball and sweep the hand pass further afield. Awkward for Nichols, but it comes out luckily. The Honeybun centering kick. Hogg in there with a chance, or Stevens right on the behind line, just gets the hand pass away. And we'll start again with a boundary throw in the forward pocket. Richmond back into attack, leading 41 to 23. 10 minutes left in the second term.
And Brett Stevens, under enormous pressure down there, is doing an excellent job. Ironmonger. Well, Honeybun actually got that one, tapped it over the back. In went Carafa. Now it's Hogg. Smothered beautifully off free, but he's got a second chance. He picks it up on the left and bangs it through for a behind. There's Tony Free. Very promising young player. 6'6" to 3'5". And we've got 9 3/4 minutes of this quarter to go.
Stevens, who came over to Fitzroy from East Perth, in short to Wynn. And the further short one to Broderick, still behind halfback flank. Strooper. That's at halfback flank. And that's about 4 possessions to get it there. That's 5 to get it there. 6 to get it there. But eventually Broderick gets the ball away. The hand pass finds Strooper in the open. Sweeps it 15 metres. Blakey back to Armstrong. Long left footer. Has it got the distance? Oh, took a bit of a leg break and hit the goalpost. Oh, John Manton, what's he done? Crashed into the goalpost.
Well, I'd like to see them go a lot longer. Fitzroy, they've got a good player up there, a player in form at full forward, and they're wasting chances.
Well, this is the man Bernie's impressed with, Lambert. He's gone out wide to the boundary line. I think it's still in. No. The big Craig McGrath. There he is over the line. Kevin Bartlett. An outstanding job in his first year as coach after being commentator with the media for a year. There's a hand pass coming out wide. And it has beaten Matthew Armstrong over the line.
Actually, this last round last year, I was in the commentary box with Kevin Bartlett, and well, if they win tonight, they've won 3 more than last year, and they might finish about 4 places high.
And they've discovered a lot of good young players. There's Wilson tapping in. Look at the pace of Mitchell. Justin Pickering and Lees. I think Pickering was grabbed when he didn't have it. And he's got the free kick. It's a short one. Further afield to Michael Thomson. Off he goes. A long kick down towards the forward line. Stevens in front. Oh, he's lost that one though. Oh, brilliant pick up Weightman. Oh, he nearly ended up with it too. Egan, Weightman again. In he goes. Magnificent play to Hogg. Terrific play, Weightman. Punch back in the play. The Fitzroy players will try and rush it through. Jim Wynn was there. He did exactly that. But, gee, did Weightman put in there, Bernie?
Oh, tenacious, wasn't he, Dale Weightman?
The play of the night. Kick in by Stevens towards the outer side. Mark taken by Harris. Each one or two would-be tacklers up towards centre wing. Wilson on his chest. To Michael Pickering, centre of the ground. Well, Fitzroy, they've kicked one goal in this quarter, and that was on the rebound when the defence had moved up the ground. It was really against the trend of play. Richmond have killed them this quarter. And look at the players getting out in the open here. Knights goes over the top. Well played. Honeybun on the run. Won't make it, but a marking duel. Mitchell stays at the back. Hogg a little toe at it. Ironmonger gets the hand pass away to Gale.
Michael Gale brings it back towards centre half back. Brett Stevens, really been Fitzroy's best player. Geez, worked hard. Armstrong, ran into Goodwin. The loose ball. Weightman. Oh, this is danger. The short pass will be on to Hogg. Every time that man gets it, you know it's dangerous. And Hogg is marked about 30 metres out directly in front.
Well, I think if you had a look at the number of possessions, I'd say Fitzroy have had at least as many as Richmond, but they've just had too many turnovers, and here it is again, with Hogg having a shot at goal.
Well, he's kicked three, Jeff Hogg, on Gary Pert. Honeybun off, Laffey on for Richmond. There's the kick from Hogg. It is right through the centre.
Yes. Fitzroy have just fooled around with it, messed around too much around the centre of the ground. That possession game's fine, as long as the player is clear and running into position. But on many occasions, Fitzroy have given the hand pass to players who have been covered. Richmond players have been ready for it, and Hogg on the end of that one kicks his fourth goal. Been an excellent forward for Richmond.
Hogg has 4 of Richmond's 7 goals. And Richmond with a pretty tidy break at the moment. But here comes Fitzroy on to Thomas, who's come off the bench, chips it short, and goals.
Well, I think Keith Thomas was even looking for a short pass on that occasion. Looking for Richard Osborne, I'm sure, but that's the value of getting the ball out of the centre and moving it into the forward line quickly. Keith Thomas started off on the bench. Been a quiet player tonight, Keith Thomas. There's a handball from Craig McGrath to the running Thomas. And maybe he was chipping over to Richard Osborne, I'm not too sure. But
I think he was, Bertie.
It didn't matter, he's kicked the goal.
I think so, Joe.
No doubt that was meant to be for Osborne, who had ducked back. Well, 7-7, plays 4-6. Another quick one is what they need. There's Bernie Harris. Towards half forward it goes. Broderick. Not Bernie Harris, Leon Harris, of course. Matthew Armstrong. Grabbed by Broderick again. Swings onto the left foot towards the pocket. Osborne in front against Manton. And Richard Osborne won't find it easy, because even though he's a big man, there's David Honeybun. Lazarus sweat on him. And that John Manton's a pretty quick player at fullback.
Broderick, one of the leading possession winners on the ground, 15 possessions. Leon Harris has had 16. Here's Kapler. Lees taps away. McGrath kicks smothered. And out of there by Goodwin. Oh, over the top. Almost a big mark to Strooper. Paid.
No doubt about that. Playing on the back line tonight. Played a number of games at full forward, David Strooper.
And now to Kapler. Harris, look out, you're in trouble. Just gets it away, but very wide to McGrath. 55 metres out on the boundary line. Oh, he might have been better to let that go. That was ruled out on the full, wasn't it?
Why would he go to the boundary line there?
Too wide.
Brought it
too
back
wide.
in.
I would have thought that Pickering touched that inside the line.
It certainly looked like it, Drew. Pickering. Ironmonger, the big fist away, but Richmond have got a wall of about 3 or 4 players there. Poole, though, was caught. Carafa to Thomas now. No, not in the backs of the umpire. So that was good umpiring by Michael, as Michael Thomson brings it towards centre wing. Then they go after it. Jim Winslow dives back into the fray. They're fair dinkum. They might never lock the game by this game, but their players are going in ferociously, and these umpires have got it right under control. I think it's umpires Childs and O'Reilly, two of the lesser knowns.
Well, there's a bit on this game tonight, because if Richmond wins or Fitzroy wins, they end up ahead of one another.
You looked an old die-hard Fitzroy supporter there, Drew.
Yes, must have been way back from the Brunswick Street days, perhaps. That's a long time ago, isn't it? Here's Darren Kapler. He likes it on the left boot. And what a pass to Osborne.
He nearly spilled that one again, Richard Osborne. He's had a couple of chest marks in this quarter that he has put down. And nearly dropped that one as well.
And one of the best kicks in league football. I think you'd agree, Bertie?
Very good kick for goal. And a long kick as well.
Kapler delivering it, you wouldn't have minded being at full forward yourself, would you?
Not at all.
Osborne from about 48 for goal number 3. Distance, no trouble at all. Just away to the right. You should know which way he was going to run. You'd know he'd favour the left boot all the time, so you could position yourself.
Yes, and he always looks for the full forward, the leading player as well. Darren Kapler had a very good year. He was one of the early favourites for the Brownlow.
Well, there's just under 3 minutes of play left in this quarter, so Fitzroy really could do with 1 or 2 quick goals. Certainly wouldn't want to allow Richmond to get another one. Thomson. Another way they're going, they might take it down here. This is Matthew Knights. Onto the left foot. He's looking for Egan. Punched away by Brockhurst. Strooper, he overran that, but he's got the backup player in Brockhurst. Oh, hand passes for free, actually intercepted. There's Strooper. The peak, and he's caught. Holding the ball, I think. Good tackle that by Egan. He was surrounded then by Pickering by 3 Richmond players. Egan kicks it high. Jeff Hogg's in the perfect position here. Over the back. Oh, it's tapped further afield for Richmond. This is Justin Pickering. He's got it. Hand pass. Mitchell, open goal, kicks and goals.
Fitzroy, I'm afraid they're just going to have to learn the hard way. They're not moving the ball out of the back line. They're wasting it with the short hand passes. Richmond applying the pressure. Instead of getting that good long kick into it, they're wasting it. Richmond have applied the pressure very well in that back line. Ends up with there with Michael Mitchell. A good hand pass from Justin Pickering, and Fitzroy have paid dearly for that short game.
Two minutes left in the first half, and in this quarter the Tigers have kicked 5-3 to 2 goals 4. Free, the hand pass wide. Armstrong, ball jolted out of his arms. Lambert in after it. Great desperation there. Harris the last one over it. The umpire calls for it and will ball it up. Richmond led by just 7 points at quarter time. 55 to 31 now. And Anthony Carafa in the hands of the trainers. And Lambert looks as though he's taken one to the elbow. And it was a pretty tough pack there.
Oh, Carafa really received a strong hip and shoulder.
Lambert gets the magic spray. Broderick's been a good player. And a half forward. McGrath. Yes. No. Free kick for over the shoulder. So the only difference there means he has to kick it rather than hand pass. And he might be a bit too far out. 55 metres. Has a bit of a run at it. Drops 15 short. Oh, bad mistake in defence. Chance here for Fitzroy, but it comes to Mitchell. Oh, brilliant play by Broderick. Goes back with a hand pass, but Wilson's there.
Well, Richmond at the moment far more desperate than Fitzroy. Laffey normally plays at half back. Oh, here they come again. Matthew Knight's a very impressive player. Looking for Hogg. Hogg and Stevens. Well done, Brett Stevens. But waiting at the bottom of the pack is Trent Nichols. Oh, he's still got it. Charge in after it. Strooper's there. And the umpire will have no hesitation in bouncing it with 45 seconds of the quarter to go. Is he going to? No, he is going to bounce it.
Andy Goodwin off the ground for Richmond. And that brings Honeybun back on the field of play for the last 30 seconds. Well, it's certainly been Richmond's quarter. They lead by 4 goals. And in the last night game last year, they lost to the Brisbane Bears to secure the wooden spoon. And there wouldn't have been too many of these kids playing in this corresponding game last year. When you've got people like Knights, who is a 17-year-old playing just his 4th game. There he is, number 33 from Mervyn. They've got a future, Richmond. And at half-time here at the MCG, Richmond are 8-7, leading Fitzroy 4-7. David Parkin in his last match as the coach of Fitzroy looks on. So he has his last half-time rev up. Kevin Bartlett saying to Denise, put the tea on, I'll be home about 11:30.
I doubt it, Drew. I think she was up at dinner tonight. So there's Chris Pym. And he hasn't had a run yet. He's a promising young player too. Bernie, Richmond looking good.
They are looking good. Some very good young players in that side. David Parkin, I think, has got a lot of thinking to do at half-time.
So at half-time here, under lights at the MCG, Richmond with a good break, 8-7 to 4-7. So after leading by 7 points at quarter time, Richmond now lead by 24 points, 8-7 to 4-7. Hogg has 4 goals and Richard Osborne has 2 for Fitzroy. So a bit of work for David Parkin to do at half-time here. Well, he's at his 3rd league club. Here's Kevin Bartlett just completing his 1st season as a VFL coach. David Parkin's been there and done that. He's coached premierships at Carlton and Hawthorn, and who knows, will he turn up at his 4th club next year? Are we meeting the coach tonight, or farewelling him, or what stage is he in his career? Is David Parkin. Over 500 games as a player and coach, David Parkin. I still can't believe that he's severing his ties with the game. An involvement that's gone that long. You'd have to bet just about that he'll turn up. Whether it's next year or he'll have a year off remains to be seen. We'll be back with our halftime summary with Peter McKenna and Bernie Quinlan, and also be hearing from Scott Palmer with this week's punchlines after the break.
Good shots, aren't they?
Yeah. Ready? Okay.
Inspiring tonight, is it? Can't get Fitzroy can come back out. Let's get on the killers.
Nice, looks alright, doesn't it?
I think he's better than Nicholas.
17. Where's Merbean? Yeah.
Merbean?
Yeah. Is it? Amazing how they find some of these blokes. Oh, we here played Teal Cup or something. How'd they find you, mate? Yeah. Who was the good judge who got you? And these blokes, what, they just tour around and watch country games because they just love it. They get a quid for it, or just travelling expenses?
I see Bernie was in Fitzroy's main zone, so he was easy to find. They just do watch all the Tri Valley games.
You kicked a few that day, did you? Oh, where were we playing? How old were you when you reached that height? About 15? Fair, wasn't it?
Well, that's some big years, don't you?
Really?
Yeah, it was good competition, wasn't it? Played in the shell competition.
10 seconds, fellas. There we go. Hands to the ground.
Michael Mitchell, well, he does attract umpires' votes. He won a Sandover medal. He's been twice All-Australian. And if you could get some fair odds, I reckon Michael Mitchell might come under the notice of VFL umpires this year.
Well, he's a very, very good player, and no doubt I think he's got two tremendous assets, and one is his tackling. I think he's had more tackles than any other player playing the game this year, and also his explosive pace. But well, he is a terrific asset. You saw him then on screen at the back, but Hogg started off particularly well and was a real thorn in the side. He's kicked 4, but he kicked, most importantly, Bernie, 3 goals on Gary Pert, which is no mean effort.
Yeah, that's a good performance by Hogg. He's kicked 4 in total, as you said, Peter, but Richard Osborne at the other end's kicked 2. A very impressive performance by Richmond so far. They've got some very good young players. Lambert's had 18 possessions, 9 kicks and 9 hand passes. Justin Pickering's had 15 possessions, 7 and 8. And I've been very disappointed with the way Fitzroy have moved the ball into attack. They've got 2 big players in the 2 key forward positions, 2 top players who can take marks, Paul Roos and Richard Osborne, and they've wasted it by playing short around the boundaries, around the wings. And on many occasions they've lost the ball, and on the rebound Richmond have kicked goals.
Well, we heard from Malcolm Blight at quarter time about the little men causing problems, the Richmond little men, and Craig Lambert has been outstanding, number 4, and a very impressive player too, number 33, Matthew Knights, only a youngster.
Very good Knights. Here's one that he kicked, I think, Knights on this occasion. Lambert moved the ball on very quickly, and Knights from a very difficult angle on the boundary line sneaked that one through. But Kevin Bartlett's done the right thing. He's brought the young players up, and it's paying dividends because they're showing a lot of promise. They're probably a couple of players short, but most sides are that aren't playing in the finals. There's Keith Thomas kicking goal. I think he tried to chip that over to Richard Osborne. But very disappointing so far, Fitzroy, with the way that they have brought the ball into attack. Very haphazard in their approach.
With salary caps and draft restrictions and so on, isn't that the way to go with the youngsters like Richmond have done, North Melbourne, Collingwood last year?
Well, they learnt the hard way, didn't they, Drew? Because they nearly broke themselves in the battle to get into the premiership sides.
Well, Richmond got in front 102 to 95 in the kicks. I'm sure they caught up a lot of that in the second half of that second quarter, because for a while there Fitzroy were just moving it so short and getting a mile ahead in the possessions. They still lead in the hand passes 66 to 59, but shots at goal 16 to 11, and that converts to a 24-point lead at half-time to Richmond, who lead it 8-7 to 4-7. Let's have a look at the Nissan ground report to half-time in this game. And I said earlier on there was a change expected. Well, we haven't seen anything like that. It's still at 5 kilometres per hour, no advantage to either team. And as long as you're here with a bit of an overcoat on, you'll be fairly comfortable. It is 12 degrees, so a bit of a nip in the air, but it's fine. The stars are out and the ground is firm. And in fact, considering the traffic the MCG has had this year, the ground is in magnificent condition. We'll be back with the second half of the game after this break. Good boy, Drew. Hey.
Well done, son.
Now, I don't reckon the bloke has anything to do with it.
Hey, any other those?
Yes, Dom.
Yeah, mate, I'm here.
You think the finals?
That's good. What's that? That's I don't like it. Oh, you. I reckon it's good.
Possessions.
Oh, sorry, one mate.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. Good on you, mate. Have you given that information through to him? Oh, yeah.
Comes off there.
Yeah, comes off.
How have you split up first and second quarter possessions?
We log off after each quarter.
Oh, yeah? Right. Yeah, gotcha.
You're talking Swahili, Don?
No. just that whatever you say about what's gone on beforehand, make sure you wrap it before the bounce. So don't
anything
continue.
happened.
Yeah, don't continue to talk about. So that proves that you can still play if you've got bleached hair, sort of over the centre bounce. Righto. And if this game doesn't get any closer, there's a rough chance that second quarter might get a run.
Oh, it's got to get closer, surely.
I hope so.
Fitzroy, I don't know.
Welcome back to the MCG. David Parkin making his way up to the box after delivering his final half-time address to Fitzroy after announcing last weekend that he was finishing with the club. Kevin Bartlett out there, well, he'd be happy. They're 4 goals in front. Malcolm Blight has been down there. I wonder if he heard anything.
Yes, thanks very much, Drew. I did get into the Richmond room. I've never heard a coach be so pleased with his players at half-time. Kevin Bartlett was most complimentary. It was terrific stuff for the young Richmond side. On the other hand, pretty tragic news for Fitzroy. Gary Pert has done his medial ligament again, the one he hurt a season and a half or so ago. Very disappointing news. Let's just hope Fitzroy can finish it off very well for Gary Pert.
Let's take you through some individual statistics. Michael Mitchell, whom we met during the half-time break. 8 kicks and 4 hand passes for Michael Mitchell. A good performance. Brett Stevens, he's been doing well. 6 and 6 and a good night. Justin Pickering, the younger of the 2 brothers, 8 kicks, 5 hand passes. John Ironmonger has been starring in the rucks, 20 hit-outs to half-time. Jeffrey Hogg at full forward, 4 goals from 6 kicks. The second half about to get underway, and Dale Weightman is on the bench for Richmond. That's an interesting one. Malcolm Blight is down there. We might be able to find out whether Dale Weightman is perhaps injured. And Fitzroy first into attack. Richard Osborne takes a sensational mark from Broderick's kick.
And what we were saying right through that first half, we wanted Fitzroy to go long and give the forwards 2 good marking players a chance. 1 out. That's all the forward wants.
And Osborne from right in front has got pretty close to the man on the mark and missed it.
Yeah, that's a shocking kick from Richard Osborne. His approach there was a little bit, well, he didn't seem to be very confident on that occasion, Peter.
Not at all. And a bad miss. That's what they wanted to start the third quarter. Manton, a beautiful kick. McGrath is the only man who went for that. But they're looking good early. The kick is transferred wide. And the mark has been taken there by Ruse. Now he'll kick from about 50 metres. Now he's bringing it wide. He was looking for Osborne, centre of the pack. Fisted on. It's all Richmond at the back of the pack. Now it's just kept in play as the hand pass comes back towards Michael Pickering. McGrath played a fairly good game too, Craig McGrath. Oh, bad hand pass because that man was covered. Comes back to McGrath. Quick hand pass to go straight to Brian Lees, and Lees from the half-back line hooks it back, but Strooper's the man there to take it at centre wing for Fitzroy.
And David Strooper to put this back into attack for the Lions. Lees backs into the pack. And Ruse goes over the top of him, and it's paid to Paul Ruse. Now can he fire the Lions without his partner in crime, Gary Pert. Inside half forward. Bad kick that by Ruse, and Michael Pickering takes an easy mark and pops it out towards the far side. Running Richmond. Manton onto Wilson. Sweeps the hand pass over the top. That's good play. To Knights. To Mitchell. Good mark on the 50. Plays on. Will he kick the goal? Off the right boot. Hasn't quite made it. Justin Pickering. Oh, it did make it.
Yes, he did very well there, Justin Pickering. It looked as if the kick wouldn't have carried enough. But Justin Pickering doing the shepherding in the goal square allowed that ball, that kick from Michael Mitchell to go through. But there again, Fitzroy gave it away when they got it up on that forward line. Nick, it was Matthew Knights getting the kick to Michael Mitchell. And Michael Mitchell there, the good shepherding done by Justin Pickering on Ross Thornton. An excellent play there by Richmond.
And Gary Pert is coming around the boundary line on crutches, which we'll probably see shortly. But there is Tony Free bringing it out of the centre. Justin Pickering against Ross Thornton, who started on interchange. Oh, good play by Michael Pickering. Oh, beautifully taken away by Blakey to Leon Harris. Oh, that's another bad hand pass to a man who's covered. Paul Roos. Let's see what he can do. He's lost it. Michael Pickering. Further afield, Trent Nichols to half forward and Egan. Beautiful lead. And they've got a much better forward set up, Richmond. Egan, the short one, is on. Lovely lead. Jeff Hogg in front of Stevens has marked 30 metres out from goal. And there is Gary Pert. What a sad sight that is. Medial ligament in the left knee. And he's had that trouble before. And you hate to see that to any player, let alone a champion one. Jeff Hogg's already kicked 4. And directly in front. That's his 5th.
Great play by Jeff Hogg and great play by Richmond. Got a much better system coming into the forward line than Fitzroy. And setting up quite a handy break now. Only 5 minutes, well, nearly 5 minutes into their third quarter. Here's a lead by Hogg. Plenty of room on the Richmond forward line. And kicking very accurately as well. We saw him one night here, he kicked 2 goals 8. But tonight he's right on target. 5 goals straight to Jeff Hogg.
(67-32), and Richmond really dealing out a thumping at the moment to Fitzroy. Roos in the middle. Boot to ball. Hasn't been done enough by Fitzroy tonight, perhaps. Frangalis going the wrong way. Slips Osborne's tackle. Into Lambert. From centre half back. Poor pass. And chipping in is Blakey. Wants to get rid of it quickly. And does so to Thomas. 60 metres out. Sweeps the hand pass over to Armstrong. Had to put it down, and Wilson, well done with a backhander. Gains about 20 metres. And they've still got possession. Pickering, and a beautiful pass to Honeybun.
Yes, and Richmond looking enthusiastic and keen. Hand pass Pickering, Michael Pickering, as usual, in everything to his brother Justin. And from centre wing, a beautiful play. Well, probably should have marked that, Egan. Oh, there's Knight's terrific use of the body by the youngster. Ironmonger, though, battling hard. Finds Gale. And Michael Gale, oh, they're under enormous pressure out wide. The board has started off the game very, very well in the first quarter. Quiet second quarter, though. Oh, Thomas has overrun it. Not a lot going right. Frangalis cops one in the back. And Gary Frangalis will take the kick on centre wing.
6 possessions for the evening to half forward. And getting out in the clear is Honeybun. Long to the goal square. Hogg one out. Well, Gale got back to make it a 2-1 contest. Hogg well trapped. And we'll have a ball up. Well, if Richmond get another one out of this, Kevin Bartlett might even see a smile from the coach.
Wasn't it good to hear that from Malcolm Blight too, that the coach was happy with his players at half-time and told them, instead of all this negative coaching. There's the knock away. Here's Mitchell. Here's danger. Thomson. Quick kick. He's put it through.
Yeah, it's a great play on the forward line. The Fitzroy defenders didn't bottle it up enough. And now a very good break to Richmond. Fitzroy have had to make a couple of changes. Stevens is at full back and Stupert playing centre half back. There's a replay. The good hand pass out from Michael Mitchell found Thomson, and Thomson kicked the goal. So Michael Thompson's kicked 1 goal for the evening, and Richmond well in control of the match at this stage.
Well, bolting away at the start of the second half, Richmond. Michael Pickering to Wilson. What a pass. And quickly off. Nichols, left boot. Nobody back there, but his kick misses to the left. Now, we saw Dale Weightman start the second half on the bench, the Richmond skipper. Let's find out from Malcolm Blight what that's all about.
Yes, Drew. Dale Weightman received a real heavy knock in that second quarter, and he is very, very sore at the moment. He's just taking a breather, maybe to come back on if required.
Roos bringing it towards the half-back line. A change is being made. We'll just pick it up in a moment. This is Justin, this for Fitzroy, I should say. Justin Pickering, a short one. Oh, beautiful play by Hogg. Lovely forward set up. Pekin's back on. And Carafa off. There's the kick by Hogg. Tapped through. They're under enormous pressure. That was by Brockhurst. And it's a behind. As we see, Carafa's a very sore boy.
Received that very solid hip and shoulder in that second quarter. Anthony Carafa. Like his shoulder's giving him a lot of trouble.
So Fitzroy bring the ball into play. Honeybun thumps down. Free. Almost a mark to Harris. Fitzroy out of this eventually. Through Armstrong. Back towards the centre of the ground. Good mark, McGrath. And he's played well tonight. Off to Darren Kapler, the sprinter. One out is Osborne. Still got a chance. But Manton does well. Fresh from his hospital bed. What a kick by Manton to Thomson.
Beautiful kick, as you said, Drew. And Thomson, a daisy cutter. He's found Honeybun. Off he goes onto the left foot. He kicks beautifully on the left too. Towards half forward. Over the back is Hogg. He overruns the ball. It's a loose one. Ross Thornton hooks it back cleverly. Michael Gale is the man in front of the Melbourne member stand. He brings it back on the left towards Broderick. It's 3-on-1 though. Eventually Kapler comes in. He drops it. Picked off the ground by Thomson. Oh, everything's going their way now as Matthew Knights has got it. Hand pass to Lambert. The short one's on again. Hogg underneath that one. In they go again. Brockhurst can't get his boot to ball. All strong play. It'll be a free kick though to Keith Thomas for in the back. But Richmond going in desperately hard as Thomas brings it wide, and he found Terry Board.
Now Fitzroy a chance. Harris. They need to string about 4 or 5 goals together. Blakey. Osborne again with Manton. Comes to the back. Osborne. Oh, he got caught in the tackle. Comes back again and snaps offline. Out of bounds on the full. So Osborne's kicked 2 goals, 2 and 1 out of bounds.
Not leading like he was early in the match, Richard Osborne.
I think Manton's got him pretty well covered. As I said earlier, Manton's a very quick player.
Well, a defender will always win if the forward just stands there and tries to take the mark.
Well, there's Manton coming up the ground. A beautiful pass to Laffey. To Michael Thomson. Hogg against Stevens. Punched on by Hogg was good play. Stevens back after it and desperately takes it through the goals. And that's, of course, is a behind to Richmond. And 11-10 to 4-8. We saw Anthony Carafa a moment ago. There he is. What's happened with him, Malcolm?
Yes, Peter, he's a very sore young man. His right shoulder, I've seen him get 2 bad knocks on it, and I think he really doesn't want to go back on the ground tonight if he doesn't have to.
Gale to Kapler. Mighty kick, 55 metres. Poole, former state player. Mitchell to Frangalis. And now Wilson. And that's good. Over the wing with a beautifully directed pass. Michael Thomson starring this quarter, and he's going to get it back from Michael Pickering. Thomson a good kick to the edge of the goal square. Justin Pickering underneath it. But Brockhurst is back there. To Board. Fitzroy having trouble once they get over about the centre. It soon comes back. Blakey. Now here's McGrath. Looking a bit better this time. To Gale. Ruse. First touch. Yes, the mark paid.
Now Ruse should move it quickly because Osborne's ducked back. Oh, Manton gets back with him. Punched away by Wilson. Now Osborne goes after it again. Trying hard, Richard Osborne. Let's see if he can grab it. Good play by Frangalis and good shepherding too by Wilson. Helped him come away. Poole's caught. Drops it. That could have been... Oh, lucky. Well, they're paying a very lucky free kick. They're paying the advantage. Matthew Knights to Mitchell, the racehorse. Off he goes and kicks long. That's the way to play it. But ducking back is Ross Thornton to take a good safe mark in defence.
Well, in this quarter, Fitzroy have managed just 1 behind, and Richmond have kicked 3 goals, 3. So they started with a 4-goal break and have widened it. That's great play by Nichols. 51 is Pym. Pym taps on. Laffey and Strooper, good body work. Egan. Back to 40 metres out from goal. Justin Pickering, back to Michael Pickering. Thomson, a goal would be a good reward for a good quarter. But he missed it.
Well, that looked like keepings off the 2 Pickerings there, and finally they gave it out to Thomson. 11-11 to 4-8, but gee, They're much the better side at the moment. Richmond, this is Brett Stevens, considering the amount of pressure he's been under, he's really doing quite well, battling hard down there. Short pass there, they're not even sure what to do there. Kapler, long kick, that's what they've got to do. There's Pickering, he's in everything. Michael Pickering, beautiful hand pass to Mitchell. Mitchell from half forward, sprints away, has a bounce, very rarely gets caught. Lambert, further afield, Matthew Knight's a ton of time, the sign of a good player, but his kick through for one behind. But they're dominating play, Richmond, Bernie.
Yeah, good constructive handball by Richmond.
Stevens to Blakey with nobody on him at half back. And John Blakey now, straight up the centre of the ground. Is that a push out? Umpire didn't think so. Comes to the back to Wilson. Plenty of time, Peter Wilson. And they're kicking the ball well, Richmond. Here's Justin Pickering, and his left footer looks good. Laffey couldn't quite take the mark. Thomas, very high. Don't like the look of that kick too much, and it made it easy for Frangalis.
Their half-forward line is just not existent. Their half-forward line is playing up near the centre of the ground, and they're leaving Osborne just on his own, which is poor play in my book. There is Michael Thomson, wide. Here's young Matthew Knight. He runs to 50 metres and kicks long. He's hooked it though, and through for another behind. So that's 3 or 4 behinds he's kicked, Knights.
You could have got that one over to Tony Free, who was alone by himself in the forward pocket.
Well, Stevens, as I said, he's been under enormous pressure down there. The way Richmond are bringing it down, punched away by Ironmonger over the line. And this throw-in will take place about 55 metres around from the Richmond goal.
79 plays 32. And Fitzroy have come to a halt since about halfway through the second quarter. Nichols, oh, well played to Knights, back to Nichols, running out of room. 35 metres, not a bad kick, just away to the right. And they're peppering the goals, and if they'd kicked Majors in the last 5 minutes, they'd be leading by a mile.
Yeah, Nichols has kicked 3 behinds.
Oh, look, they've even gone short again, Fitzroy. Armstrong has disappeared out of the game. Started off particularly well. There's Ironmonger. Well, he battled his heart out tonight. Their last 7 scoring shots have been behind Richmond. There's the kick towards the centre wing. This is Trent Nichols. Probably needs to do a bit of sprinting over the summer, I would think. A quick hand pass comes out to Harris. They really need someone firing. The short one is on from Thomas. That's better. As Bernie Quinlan said earlier, he needs to lead a bit more, Richard Osborne.
Well, he's so quick. And I think a lot of players, one of the quickest players actually in the league, one of the quickest players definitely at Fitzroy. That's his strength, he should use it.
Well, then he comes for goal number 3, and it's a close one, and he's missed again. So 2 bad misses in this quarter to Richard Osborne.
Well, he's had his chances, Richard. He's kicked 2 in the first quarter, and he's kicked 3 behind since then.
So still Fitzroy looking for their first goal for this third quarter. We have just 11 minutes left. Roos can't take the mark, comes back and gets the football, skirts around them. No distance in the kick, but it's to the team's advantage. Thomas marks on 50. He goes very wide. This is still about 42 metres out from goal. And Broderick, I don't know whether Thomas did the right thing in going out of the centre corridor out to there.
He used a very good kick for goal, Paul Broderick, and favoured by his natural kicking foot, the left foot on that side of the ground.
He's kicked 1 goal, 1 for the night. He's creamed that one. Beautiful kick.
Yes, a very promising player, Paul Broderick. Did look of Fitzroy again on that occasion, going very wide. And they've done that most of the night. On that occasion, they kicked it to a player who can really kick the ball well. And there is the kicking style of Paul Broderick. On the left foot, his natural kicking foot. He also kicks very well on the right foot.
Dale Weightman back on the ground for Richmond. And he spent the first 17 minutes on the bench.
Trent Nichols off the ground. Punched away. There's Laffey. Now it's Gale. Out to Strooper. Strooper long. Osborne against Manton. Osborne will probably duck back here. It's touched, I feel. Quick kick by McGrath is the wrong side of the post, and through for one behind to Fitzroy. So 5-10 they move on to. Richmond 11-14. Still a big leeway to make as the short kick comes out to Lees, who's played most of the season at full back, but of course John Manton playing there tonight. Pickering, clever use of the body.
Push out.
Well, the umpire said a push out to Craig McGrath, and technically I think he was right, as it's brought towards full forward. Oh, the marker's dropped down there by Wilson. In went Ruse. Now it's Armstrong hooking it back, but eventually it's forced off the hands of Paul Broderick and over the line at half forward for the Roys.
Well, Dale Weightman back into the fray after spending the first 17 minutes of this quarter on the bench. Richmond skipper Harris kicks straight up in the air. Fitzroy a chance here. Thomas is there with Osborne. Osborne charging at it. Gets one. Play on, says the umpire. They dive in after it. This is right in front and about 20 to 25 metres out.
Wasn't that a great tackle there by Johnny Manton? Put Richard Osborne under extreme pressure.
Just some signs that Fitzroy just starting to turn the corner a bit.
Yes, and here's Armstrong trying to get onto that left boot of his. Broderick's there also. And who knows, that miss in the first minute of this quarter by Richard Osborne, well, it would have been a goal straight after half-time. Might have really lifted Fitzroy, but he missed, and of course Richmond took it down and got a couple of goals themselves. Now, it's at half still, well, actually forward pocket area for Fitzroy. A couple of quick goals and they'd be right back in it. But the forward line is just not working. Matthew Armstrong played particularly well early in the game. He's had 10 kicks. He's the big thump away back to the line for another throw-in.
Peter Wilson charging at that one. Well, I wonder if when the siren goes tonight, if Richmond win, he's going to give us another cartwheel, which he gave us earlier in the season when they upset Carlton under lights at the MCG. Here's Michael Mitchell. The hand pass was good to Thomson. Back to Mitchell. And the pass is sensational to Weightman. Just past wind onto Weightman. And this is good from Weightman as well. And the mark taken by Pym. Centering kick. Oh, great play. On his own is Knights to take the mark. 40 metres out right in front.
Seems to have a good football brain, Bernie.
He's been very impressive, Pym. So a great desperation there by Paul Ruse running down from centre half forward to try to make up that ground to spoil.
17 years old, and doesn't he look like a boy? In amongst the hurly-burly. And that kick is offline to the left.
We might have to work on his kicking a bit because he's missed a few.
They've wasted a lot in this quarter, Richmond.
Well, they really have dominated the play. There's another short one from full back to Leon Harris. Oh, he's off. Now, he tried to go short to half back. This is Ross Thornton to Ironmonger. Back to Thornton. Beautiful pass on the left foot out wide to Kapler, who's been fairly quiet. Kapler's gone short to half forward and McGrath. Now, where's Osborne? No, he's going short to Ruse. And Ruse marks 45 metres out from goal directly in front. So Paul Ruse has tried very, very hard tonight, as he always does. He's had 12 kicks and 4 hand passes. Now, going for his first goal from 45 metres. Won't quite make the distance. A good mark down there to Laffey.
And away to Mitchell. Solid Shepherd behind play. Lambert. Justin Pickering at the wing. No, this is... oh, Knights again. What a mark. Man, what a player this youngster is. Thomson is absolutely burning it, especially in this quarter. He's having a big third quarter. Bounces through the pack. Chance here for the Tigers. But it comes out to wind. Stevens. Oh, Mitchell. It was in the back pocket a minute ago. How's that?
Well, Fitzroy just don't want to kick the ball, and as a man who's dressed, you'd think he should be at the races, I think, instead of the football in that hat.
Or else he owns Watford Football Club. It's like Elton John.
Well, it's at half forward for Richmond. This is Kepler. Quick kick. Oh, the mark's dropped down there by Pym. Armstrong. Quick hand pass under pressure to Thornton. Thornton looking for Thomas. Oh, Wilson's there. He gets it away, but Wind. Another hand pass. Scrambling bit of play here, but crashing his way through with Broderick. That was beautiful football. Further afield it comes from Blakey. Oh, that's too high on Keith Thomas. And Thomas right in the centre of the ground. Off he goes. Gets around Goodwin and brings it towards half forward. Leon Harris at the back. Lambert beautifully done to Weightman. Now it's Richard Osborne. Hand pass. Back it comes to Osborne. He gets around onto the right foot. Tries to hook it back. A one-on-one contest, and it should be a free kick against Paul Roos, and it is to Michael Pickering.
Yes, he had to come down with it. Pickering to Weightman. Well, he's too injured to play the first quarter now this quarter, and Weightman's been starring since he came back. Peter Wilson, what a good mark. To the centre of the ground. Laffey behind Thomas. Thomas bumps it forward. Wind. Roos. Oh, great play. We kicked it in the back of Richard Osborne and tapped out by Lees, and Frangalis sees it over the line.
Well, that Richmond defence looks pretty good. As we see, Gary Purdy looks absolutely disconsolate there. Richmond defence working well down there, Bernie.
Yeah, they've been under a little bit of pressure this quarter from Fitzroy, but they've stood up to it very well. 3.5
minutes to go till three-quarter time. It's thumped away by Goodwin. Back to the line. And another throw-in.
No overseas trips at this stage for Gary Pert like he's had in the last couple of years, so he could have looked forward to a bit of a rest. And what a way to spend your rest, on crutches.
Anthony Carafa there on the boundary line. Craig McGrath getting it there, still trying to get his boot to it. Lambert at the base of the pack, and he'll earn himself a free kick.
It's a place to be, isn't it, Peter? At the base of the pack, Lambert 13 kicks and 10 hand passes.
To Poole. And his kick to centre wing. Michael Pickering usually so good overhead. Gale at the back. Wilson lost it. Broderick. Wilson again. Oh, he's really firing them up. And Michael Mitchell just burning the turf here at the MCG. Away to free. Short passes, beautiful to Hogg. Well, the full forward should kick a dozen if the ball's delivered up the ground like that.
Well, Stevens looked absolutely disgusted, I think, with his teammates, Bernie.
Well, the pressure wasn't applied further upfield, but great running play there by Wilson and Michael Mitchell, the two former Western Australian players.
Coming up for number 6. And he kicks it well. No movement from the goal umpire.
There's 6 goals straight to Jeff Hogg. Been a great performance by him, but they have delivered the ball particularly well to him. He's led well, kicked straight, kicked 3 goals on the champion fullback Gary Pert. There it is, nothing Brett Stevens could do about that. Hogg well out in front, and there he is kicking for goal from about 35 to 40 metres out. A great game so far from Jeff Hogg.
Well, 6 goals to Hogg. What a good performance, but the way that ball's coming down is very difficult for Brett Stevens at full-back. It's punched away by Wilson, who's having an outstanding quarter. Here's Weightman in the back. Yes, and they'll race it down there again. Every time this man gets it, he's got to go and kick over the mark, but very rarely does he waste a kick. Dale Weightman is always looking around for a man in a better position. Let's see if he proves me wrong. Look at that. You can bet on it every time, Bernie.
Yes, he delivers the ball very well, Dale Weightman, and this man leads very well also.
Well, he's kicked 6, Jeff Hogg, and he'll use a beautiful kick for goal. He doesn't miss many. We had a bad patch earlier in the year, but generally a pretty good kick from 45 metres, kicks right through that one. That's his 7th.
Great exhibition of forward work tonight from Jeff Hogg. 3 goals in this quarter, 3 goals in the first quarter and 1 in the second. And he has been the difference between the two sides.
And so for the third quarter in succession, Richmond outscoring Fitzroy 5-8 to 1-3 in the third term, and at three-quarter time had set up a lead of a mammoth 53 points. Jeff Hogg in magnificent form in front of goal, and could he go on with it from there? Let's go back to the MCG now for the final match under lights for season 1988, and we pick up play at the start of the final quarter.
A 53-point lead to Richmond going into the last quarter of the season for both of these teams. Comes down to Weightman. He goes to ground. Stevens, been a stout defender here for Fitzroy. Good mark to Thomas. Quickly away to Egan, and he puts Broderick out in the clear. Off the left boot, Broderick kicks the goal.
Well, it's good play there by Fitzroy. Broderick, a very promising player. He's kicked 3 goals for the night. And Fitzroy getting the ball out of the centre of the ground, very important. Got the handball out quickly. Broderick on the end of that. And as I said, he's a very good kick on the left foot.
You're dead right there, Bernie. Beautiful style, and 3 goals and played quite well. Well, if the Fitzroy players have got anything inside them, David Parkin's last quarter of coach of the club, they should really fight this right out. That was Weightman getting it down there. Kepler. There he is, Weightman again. Beautiful hand pass to Mitchell. Mitchell wide. Justin Pickering caught. Quick hand pass, but Brockhurst coming out of defence. I think they'll have a big quarter here, Fitzroy, as we see Kepler to Thomas. Thomas to the centre of the ground to Roos. He found him. And Paul Roos, that heavy thigh bandage. Now he brings it towards full forward. Osborne waits over the back cleverly. Couldn't quite get it. Comes loose. Hand pass over the top. Richard Osborne's got an open goal. He tries to hook it back. It's a wobbly old kick and out of bounds on the full.
And Terry Board could have received a nice little hand pass over the top there from Richard Osborne. Would have set up the goal nicely.
Osborne tonight, 2 goals, 3 and 2 out of bounds. Lambert kicks in. Roos almost. Roos again. And then the socket away out of bounds. And Michael Pickering will take the free kick. Amazing statistics. 11 kicks and 17 handballs. He had 9 hand passes in the third quarter. Here's Egan running out of room and can only find the boundary line.
Well, that was his worst kick of the night. And David Parkin, a very disillusioned man. I think Jeff Southby and Gary Wilson could have done with a couple of players of that calibre out there tonight in front of the Melbourne members. Leon Harris, quick kick, is marked by Brian Lees at half-back. And it will be interesting to see if Fitzroy can finish on in this last quarter, because they've been outclassed for 3 quarters. There's the kick towards the centre of the ground. The big thump was by Manton. Now they won't catch Mitchell. If it bounces right, it doesn't. He got a shocking bounce. Gale. Wide to Thornton, or nearly got themselves into trouble. Ross Thornton brings it out of defence wide, looking for Harris. Ironmonger waits at the back. It hit Tony Free in the head. Grabbed by Weightman. Dale Weightman, a bounce with the left hand. Let's see what he does with it. On the left foot has found Hogg. Hogg a clever hand pass to Egan. Egan at 50 metres. A short one across. Has found Thomson. And Michael Thomson lines up, brings it back. It's another one to the Tigers.
Michael Thomson's played very well, particularly since half-time. He kicked 1 goal in that third quarter. He's kicked 1 in the last quarter. It had 10 possessions in the third quarter. There's the president of the Richmond Football Club, Neville Crow, and isn't that fantastic to see him?
Great to see.
There it is, the replay, going with Philip Egan across the ground. Michael Thomson, a very good goal, that kicking on the turn. He kicked it nearly 49 metres. Not an easy goal to kick.
Richmond bolting away, 99 to 46. That'll be a free kick for a high tackle, advantage paid. So they quickly take it, and up to Justin Pickering on the turn to Hogg. Hogg still a chance. Mitchell. Blistering speed, Michael Mitchell. Oh, he missed it. Bad luck.
Oh, he's an exciting player, isn't he, Michael Mitchell?
Remember him playing for 1 year for Western Australia in the State of Origin game against Victoria, and he was most impressive. Very, very quick, and he took one of the greatest marks ever, standing on a guy's shoulders over there. There's Strooper for dangerous play, and in fact, it's proved by the fact that Justin Pickering has taken the mark.
And with a reasonable shot at goal too, Justin Pickering, only kicking from about 40 metres out.
Well, he's going to be a fine player in the future, Pickering. He's had 11 kicks and 9 handballs. He and his brother have really played well again tonight. He's going for goal number 2, and he's got it.
Go for a hand pass a short time ago. McGrath from just outside 40 metres. And I think he's hit the post.
I don't think it's there night, Drew.
3 behinds to Craig McGrath.
Well, really, this has been a hiding. 15-17 to 6-11.
6-11, not good enough, is it, on a night like this? Perfect conditions for football.
Well, considering the reserve sides, how many goals between them?
52.
52 goals between them. Wilson has been outstanding since half-time. And this time he brings it, there's confidence, straight down the centre of the ground. Lambert was outstanding in the first half. Here he comes again. He's going to be an excellent player, this young kid. Beautiful hand pass. Michael Thomson to Weightman, back to Thomson. Hand pass to Mitchell. Grabs it beautifully. Justin Pickering. Oh, couldn't trap it. And Brockhurst is able to tap it. They probably went one too many.
Yeah, that would have been just about the play of the year, wouldn't it? Brought it right down from full-back. And just that last time where Brockhurst was able to chip in and knock it out of bounds. But that was magnificent play from Richmond.
Laffy over the top of Ironmonger. Oh, Weightman. Sensational play. Pym grabbed when he didn't have it. No, Lambert. To Justin Pickering. Egan shrugs them off. Goes for goal. And kicks it.
Yeah, great goal there from Philip Egan. His first. But on that occasion, I feel that Brockhurst should have tried to tackle instead of going the bump. Egan was already in possession of the ball, so Brockhurst was entitled to go for the tackle. Here it is. It spills out to Michael Egan. And he just rode the bump very easily and kicked another lovely goal to the Tigers.
Well, this is a one-horse race at the moment, and they want to finish on too. The last quarter for the year. For them, the hand pass over the top. Weightman again, still is able to get the hand pass into Lambert. Lambert wide. Michael Pickering, left foot. Hooks it back. There's no one there for Richmond though. And the mark has been taken down there by Thornton. To Roos. Wide. To Kapler. To Thomas. And Keith Thomas brings it to centre wing to Craig McGrath.
Well, McGrath has had a pretty good night on the forward line. He's taken 9 marks and 18 possessions. 1 out is Osborne. At the back, yes. The mark right in front.
Oh, I don't think Manton agrees. I reckon he thought he touched it.
No, I think Osborne was entitled to that mark. Gary Pert, it's a sad sight, a sorry sight for the Fitzroy supporters and for Gary Pert. Had a few serious injuries over the last couple of years.
Osborne for goal number 3. This time.
Well, he's had a lot of chances up there tonight, Richard Osborne. Kicked 3 goals, 3 and a couple out of bounds on the full. So he's had plenty of the football for the number of times that the ball's been up on the forward line. Let's have a look at that one again.
Oof.
What do you think, Peter?
I think he might have got a hand to it.
He may have too. That's a much better kick from Richard Osborne. Missed a couple of easy ones when Fitzroy could have, well, maybe they could have got back in the game.
That's his first goal since the first quarter.
David Honeybun. Facing him at the other side of the circle is Ironmonger. Off the ground was by Armstrong. Now the chance for Kapler to show his pace. Tony Freese chasing him. A good pressure allows Laffy to give it to Thomson, to Mitchell. Michael Mitchell. He's got a loose man out wide in Pym. Pym and half forward. Will swing. No, he kicks on the right foot. Oh, look at that pass. A beautiful pass to Justin Pickering. And the use of the ball, Richmond has been outstanding tonight. He's kicked 2, 12 kicks and 10 handballs. Not bad for a wingman, and if he can kick this one, it'll be his 3rd for the night. From 40 metres, comes back, and it's a goal.
And he kicks very straight too, Justin Pickering. The Pickering brothers have had a night out tonight. Michael Pickering has done particularly well, and Justin's chipped in with a couple of goals. And the scoreline there not looking very healthy for Fitzroy at all. Very good kicking style. No problems with that one. And the Tigers have had a night out tonight here at the MCG.
Blight told us earlier on that Kevin Bartlett was very pleased with the Tigers at half-time. Then they led by only 4 goals. Now they lead by a mile. Mitchell to full forward. Hogg's got another one. And they're thrashing the Lions.
There's Jeff Hogg. Kicks his 8th. And a very happy Tiger group up there. But what blistering pace from Michael Mitchell out of the centre. Brilliant play by him. Raced it down to the forward line.
He'll pull well in the Brownlow, I think, Mitchell.
Oh, well, he stands out, doesn't he, Peter, with that great pace of his. And there's that goal from Hogg. Very easy goal, but great play there by Michael Mitchell.
Hogg has kicked 8 goals straight.
Oh, there he is. What blistering speed that Mitchell's got. Jeff Hogg, 8 goals, great effort. 18-17 plays 7-11. Honeybun to Mitchell again to Pickering. Pickering a quick kick towards half forward. Thornton's there. Now it's Brockhurst to Thomas. Wide to Kepler. 2 South Australians combining there. Vangalis and Roos, and I think Paul Roos took that one. And the umpire's not going to pay it. Vangalis was the man in front. Roos not arguing, so maybe the umpire did right. Let's see who took it.
Bit of each way. I think Vangalis may have had the hands on it first.
Oh, pretty good decision.
Good decision.
Fitzroy in attack. One of the few times. Mitchell's there again. He's setting up goals and blocking it up in defence.
These umpires tonight have been outstanding for 2 young umpires, O'Reilly and Childs.
I don't know anything about either of them. We've probably had about 2 games between them, haven't they? Bit of a scrap here. Oh, that's great play by Lambert to Thomson. He's had an excellent night. Michael Thomson puts it out in front of Lambert. Richmond just enjoying themselves at the moment. Here's Thomson going for a further gallop. Off to Egan. Centering kick. Hogg again. Oh, but Roos got there. Weightman. Back he comes. Knights. It's close. Just offline.
1-4, Knights. But they're very promising. Some good young players in this Richmond side. Playing with a lot of enthusiasm.
Well, Matthew Knight's a real baby face, and he's going to be a footballer. A really good player. There's a hand pass over the top of the board. Back it comes to Armstrong. Some good tackling by Richmond. Tony Free brings it back. He was looking at there for Honeybun, who just didn't have the agility to get back after that one.
101 pounds of fun. You want me to sing it for you?
No, thank you.
Okay.
It's at half forward. Well, actually halfway between centre wing and half forward before Richmond. Honeybun gets it down, but it's grabbed by Wind. Quick kick towards Thomas. And Thomas, in fact, takes it over the line. 12.5 minutes of play left in this game. And it's been most impressive, and it looks good for Richmond for next year.
Well, when you think about this night last year, they were in the pits, Richmond. They lost to the Brisbane Bears and got the wooden spoon. And what a turnaround this is. Here's Michael Pickering. What a mark. 45 metres from goal. 6th mark for the night. In short. And almost a pin. Play on. Mitchell. His pace got him there. He wasn't even in the contest. Justin Pickering. Back to Michael. Up to the goal square. Knight's on his own.
Oh, they can do no wrong.
Oh, it's been too easy, hasn't it, for Richmond?
They'd kicked 8 goals to half-time, and this will now be number 19. Knights gets his second.
Yeah, no worries about that one for Knights. But the pressure that the Tigers have applied right further up the ground from the centre into the back line, they've ran the ball out well, and that blistering pace of Mitchell, here it was, it ended up in the goal square with Matthew Knights taking the easy chest mark and kicking that one from about 5 metres out. Some very impressive young players here playing tonight for the Tigers.
19-18 to 7-11 as Andy Goodwin still going hard at the ball, as you can see there. Ironmonger, well, he's beaten that time by Goodwin, but it's Armstrong with a quick kick down towards the forward line. McGrath couldn't get his boot to, but well, he just touched the ball, I would think. Laffey, good try, Laffey. Oh, it's a silly free kick given away by Osborne. It'll have to be Laffey's kick. It's a bit late now to be livening things up. Laffey started on interchange towards centre wing. Oh, there he is again, Pickering. 17 kicks and 18 hand passes, Michael Pickering. Tony free to Thornton, and Ross Thornton takes his mark on the wing.
And Thornton across the ground. Tap down to Blakey. He puts it wide to Broderick, but too far for him. Frangalis takes the mark. Short pass, any amount of Tigers here. Egan takes it. He has options. And kicked into the man. Still Egan. Win for Fitzroy. But straight back in defence to Poole. There's been one of perhaps the quiet Tigers tonight. Trevor Poole. Up to half. What a great kick. Oh, the mark absolutely bobbled by Pym. McGrath's back there. Back to Thornton. Wide open here for Leon Harris.
Leon Harris, battling hard as he normally does, brings it to half forward. This is where they've fallen down, and a nice mark. And Frangalis has hit a bit of form the last couple of weeks, and good to see. Had a lot of injuries since transferring to Richmond. There's a short one. He's found Trevor Poole. He's gone wide. Had an option of 2 men. There's Goodwin with an ugly looking hand pass, but it's found Free, and Free runs towards full forward. The long kick. Strooper was into the back. Here's Pickering, Justin. It's a goal.
Great play there again by the leading Hogg at full forward, even though the pass wasn't spot on. It gave plenty of room for the running Richmond forwards to chip in, raced into that goal square, and Justin Pickering kicked his 3rd goal. Been an excellent player over the top there, and now with the running Tigers racing in, very keen to kick that goal. The 2 Pickering brothers, Justin got there first.
Justin Pickering has kicked 3 goals in this last quarter, 4 for the night, and the Tigers have got their 20th on the board. And here they go again. Free out of the middle. Good mark, that. Taken in defence, dragged down by wind. So, well, Richmond have got better as the night's gone on. 3 goals in the first quarter, 5 in the second, 5 in the third, and so far they've kicked 7 in the last. Leon Harris to Strooper. Going past Armstrong. Chance for Osborne. Oh, McGrath takes the mark, just as well he did.
He's a very good high mark, Craig McGrath, there's no doubt about that. Probably his lack of pace has kept him out of the seniors. But here on that occasion in front, took a great mark under a lot of pressure from the players coming in from behind him, kept his eye on the ball. And as I say, the only thing that's kept him out of this Fitzroy side, I think he just lacks a yard.
I think he'd be a superstar if he had pace, Bernie.
Yeah, definitely.
So McGrath, for his first goal tonight, he's kicked 3 behinds. He's kicked 4.
No, that's not like him either. Craig McGrath is usually a pretty good shot at goal.
Have to sack the skills coach, huh?
Bernie won't claim him. Well, there's Jeff Southby, Gary Wilson, David Parkin, 3 champion players themselves, but, well, they're a bit of an enigma, Fitzroy. Just can't work them out. There's a hand pass from Manton to Wilson. He was caught, still gets in the hand pass. Tony Free. Here they come again, the Tigers. Oh, Free's unloaded as he kicked the ball. It'll be a free kick down the ground. Frangalis, off he goes. He's got a loose man there. Oh, Pym cops one. And that's another free kick, and it might be on here. In they
Could be
go.
on in two positions, centre half forward and centre half back.
Well,
As Ross Thornton was the player that chipped in there very late. One of the veterans of the Fitzroy side now, Ross Thornton.
well, that's Chris Pym on the ground. And I think he'll be all right. And Ross Thornton had to commit himself then.
It would be silly for any Richmond players here to get reported for retaliating. In the last game last year, Lee and Weightman both reported and both served 4 this year. And they've got the game well won. They'd be stupid to miss games.
There's a
The book
report.
is out.
Well, I was just about to say that. It looked as if it was just about a reportable incident.
Well, if he gets rubbed out for that, well, I'll walk from here to the back of Burke.
Why? What do you mean? There was contact made and it was very high and late.
He was committed on the ball there. He won't get rubbed out for that.
We'll see.
We sure will. There's the kick from Pym towards half forward, and this man is in sensational form, Michael Mitchell. As he killed them again as he marked about 45 metres out from goal on a very acute angle.
Great game by Mitchell. 14 kicks, 15 hand passes and 4 marks.
If he gets some more votes tonight, it might go a long way towards him being a very big chance.
Well, he does stand out, doesn't he, Michael Mitchell?
I'd say he does.
Why is that, Bernie?
He's great pace.
Well, there's Mitchell at 45, and he's normally a pretty good kick. Up towards the square, taken away by Leon Harris. There was some strong work going on there. Strooper was a clever little hand pass. Pickering, another hand pass, but it went to Thornton, to Thomas, further afield to Gale, to Kepler, and Kepler brings it around the wing. Fringalis has been a good player. He read that beautifully. Well done, Gary Fringalis. Clever hand pass, but just offline and, in fact, over the line.
If there is a suspension at the tribunal on Monday night, we'll be round to your place Tuesday morning with some walking boots. There's a free kick to Fitzroy out of that and into the man. So Fitzroy cannot do a thing right tonight. It comes to Egan. Puts out the hand pass to Thomson. Absolutely killed them, Michael Thomson. There's a chance. Almost a Pickering, Michael. Weightman breaks the tackle. Short passes, great football. Nichols marks in front. He's got Mitchell in the goal square and he flexed the muscles and thought about it for a moment.
He did the right thing.
Well, he's still going for the short one, and look at Fitzroy's manning up. And here's Justin Pickering about to kick 4 for the term and 5 for the night. David
Parkin would probably be quite happy to be bowing out tonight.
I reckon he'll be glad to go for sure.
This will be number 21 for Richmond.
Yeah, it's just too easy, isn't it? In this last quarter, the Tigers have really taken over.
There are your walking boots, Pete.
In the second half, they've completely dominated the game. And Fitzroy's lack of rovers has really shown out. There's the kick from Justin Pickering. Been an excellent player. The Pickering brothers, both of them have played excellent games tonight. But Fitzroy have been cut to pieces around the packs.
Well, Justin Pickering's kicked 5 and Jeffrey Hogg has kicked 8. It's not bad, considering one of them's playing on the wing.
They could win this by a century.
Well, they haven't had a weak link. Just under 6 minutes of play left, and they're still going as hard as when they started. There's Michael Pickering again, bringing it to half forward. The loose ball comes to Kepler. It's a wide one. There's Peter Wilson. He's got it. And he sprints to half forward, has a pot shot at the goals, Wilson. Has he put it through? Yes!
What a goal.
Great enthusiasm by the Tigers. They haven't let up all night. And it's great to see them after Wilson kicked that goal. About 6 Richmond players raced over to him to congratulate him. There's Barry Rawlings, a former Tiger champ as well.
We might still see the cartwheel, Drew.
Here he goes. Wilson with great pace and enthusiasm. Kicked that one from about 45 metres out, and isn't he happy?
Nearly.
And that is not the goal that put them in front. It's the goal that put them 96 in front. Richmond on fire. Well, little blokes are even winning the hit-outs. Leon Harris intercepts. Strooper tries to beat one, tries to beat another, takes one high, advantage. Thomas gets it to Harris. He didn't look then, but McGrath's taken the mark. Right in front, and the man on the mark will be about 45 metres out. So you have Brett Stevens on the forward line. Well, full forward in Western Australia. Let's hope he kicks it for Fitzroy's sake. Didn't quite make it. Right on the line, Manton's got it. Well, perhaps one of many things Richmond's missed over the years since they won their 80 premiership was a fullback. And if John Manton can stay free of injury, they might have found one with John Manton.
Well, I think he could make a good fullback, Drew, because one of the important things is being big and fast, and he's got tons of pace. He's one of the quickest players at the Richmond Football Club. Well known for his pace, as he brings it wide. Oh, Wilson slipped over. He'll end up with the ball. Gets in a quick hand pass and puts it over the line. But Bernie, their enthusiasm has really been great in this last quarter.
Yes, they haven't let up, have they, Pete? It's been a great performance by the Tigers tonight.
I reckon they'll be at the social club tonight without even having a shower. They won't even get changed. They'll just run up the hill. Here's Leon Harris, and that's out of bounds on the full, or no, right on the line, and we'll have a boundary throw in. Still just under 4 minutes left, and the margin 96 points. I'm sure the Tigers would be aware that to get a century on the MCG is something to remember.
And Fitzroy's only kicked 2 goals too since half-time.
Well, there's Bernie Harris, and he must be, did I say Bernie Harris again? That's Leon Harris, of course, his brother Bernie up with the Bears. Leon, he must be...
He was a bit of a loss too, Bernie Harris. He's a very handy forward pocket rover who could kick a goal.
He certainly could. That was Tim Peake, and we've hardly sighted all night. Tony Free, quick kick. Paul Roos has died out of the game a little bit. Gale to Thornton. Oh, back it comes to Trent Nichols. The Tigers come again, but this time it's offline and out of bounds on the full. The kick down there to be taken by Gale.
Over the wing. Poole's there. Nichols. Oh, tapping to Egan. Hand pass a bit high. Justin Pickering to Mitchell. Wouldn't this cap off a night? Michael Mitchell. He missed it. It was all set up for him.
He's not too happy with himself either. That's a sign of a good player. Striving for perfection. He hasn't got too many weaknesses, Mitchell. 22-19 it is to 7-12 as the ball with 2 Fitzroy players at half-back. Nearly spoiled each other, and that was finally Brett Stevens taking it to the line. Well, look at those Tigers supporters. I reckon they'll be out in force. They've got those balloons, and there's a very happy coach, Kevin Bartlett. What a magnificent job in his first year of coach he's done with this side. A lot of youngsters, plus experienced guys like the man on screen, Weightman. Weightman found Michael Pickering. He centred the ball to Hogg. Beautiful play, Weightman and Pickering. And Hogg's got a chance to kick goal number 9.
That's great understanding there from the Richmond players. Hogg knew as soon as he got the ball to make that lead straight up the centre of the ground.
Well, Jeff Hogg from directly in front. Oh, lovely kicking style. And he's kicked his 9th.
Yes, and that's 9 goals straight to Jeff Hogg. He hasn't kicked it behind. That's a great performance. John Blakey is now playing on him. He's had about 4 opponents. Started off with Gary Pert, kicked 3 goals on him before he was injured. Here's the mark. But that was a great lead by Hogg. And Michael Pickering on that occasion did the right thing, centred the ball. And that's a great play. They've played with a lot of discipline on the forward line.
And the margin is now over the century. Still a minute and a half left, and the margin 103 points. That's 10 goals in the final quarter to Richmond. Broderick out of the middle. Osborne pretty well up the ground. Manton's gone with him. Into Stevens. Had to wait for it. The hand pass partly intercepted. Harris trouble. Goes back to Osborne. Opens up the angle. Hoists it high but won't make it. And off the hands. And out of bounds. And we'll have a boundary throw in.
Terry Board's limping badly. He's been hurt in the centre of the ground there about 5 minutes earlier.
15 goals in the second half to Richmond after kicking just 8 in the first half. And in the second half, well, Fitzroy just come to a standstill because they have kicked 3 goals after half-time.
Well, even then we saw with 31 seconds to go, Wilson did that big thump around the boundary line. There's Laffey. Let's see if they can get another one. This is Stevens, caught there, harassing Richmond. Beautiful play. Michael Thomson, 16 seconds on the clock as the ball's brought right down towards Pickering. He gets a bad bounce. This is Wynn. Across he goes to Thornton and further afield to Kaplan.
And just 5 seconds left in the game. Stevens takes the mark too far out to score. Short passes. The Tigers have won by 103. Well done to Kevin Bartlett. In his first season as a VFL coach, he's taken the team from bottom and they look as though they might finish 10th. 3 more wins than last year. They finished the season with 10 goals in the last quarter. Dale Weightman, the skipper, even though he left the ground for a while in the third quarter injured, he finished up with 22 possessions and a big way for Richmond to finish the season, and sad for Fitzroy in David Parkin's last coaching game with the Lions. Well, can Richmond look forward to something in 1989?
Well, they're blooded. Look at those Richmond supporters. They'll be out in force next season. You can bet on that. And they mean a lot to the VFL. Richmond firing. And they've blooded a lot of very good young players. There's been a steady improvement right throughout the year. And they were very, very impressive tonight, Bernie.
Oh, great performance by the Tigers. They thoroughly deserved that win. And it looks as if they're going over to their cheer squad. And that's great to see. It's getting back to the grassroots of football, isn't it, Peter? Good to see that sort of thing happening because they get the support, they want the support from their followers, and it's good to see them put a little bit.
And certainly the Tigers' night out at the MCG, they kicked 10-4 to 2-2 in the fourth quarter to win by 103 points and 15 goals to 3 after half-time. Hogg finished up with 9 and Justin Pickering 5, and just repeating that Jimmy Jess kicked 9 goals in the reserves, his farewell appearance with the Tigers. And after the game, after the senior game at the MCG tonight, Malcolm Blight spoke to a victorious coach, Kevin Bartlett.
Kevin, what a way to win the season.
Well, it's a great way for us to end the season, Malcolm. It gives us 8 wins for the year and gives us a real launching pad into season 1989. Last year the club got beat by 56 points in the last game of the year, and this year we've won by over 100 points, so it's a great effort by the players.
Yeah, actually, just looking back at the form, you've beaten Carlton, Swans, North and Melbourne, all finalists from last year, all virtually in the second half of the year.
Yeah. Well, in the second half of the year we've won 7 games and lost 6 out of the last 13. So we've been very pleased with the improvement of our young players, but also, of course, getting Johnny Manton and Gary Frangalis back have been a bonus towards the end of the year. Unfortunately, losing Mark Lee, Hoggy and Wilson and Bauer really put us behind the 8 ball for the last couple of games, but Hoggy back tonight was great, and Peter Wilson had so much to our side.
Kevin, it's remarkable. 11 new players for the year. You had 6 first-year players out there tonight and 3 second-year players. Remarkable performance.
Yes, and of course Tony Free wouldn't have been counted in that list, but he played 10 minutes of senior football last year, and David Honeybun hadn't played senior football for 4 years. So in all, I suppose, in essence, we had 13 first-year players this year and a number of young boys who only played 1 or 2 games. But that's the future of our club, and you know, we're really looking forward to next year. I know the players are even looking forward to pre-season.
Yeah, it's going to be terrific. Jeff Hogg ended up with 57, Weightman and Mitchell 33, 34 each. Pretty productive up forward.
Yes, well, I think it's been a great year for Hoggy, and really he came in under difficult circumstances because Michael Roach was unavailable for 19 games, and Hoggy really did a great job for us up forward. I mean, he was really a lone hand for a lot of the year because Phil Egan was out for 10 weeks through injury. So I think next year he can be a bigger and better player.
Yeah, terrific effort tonight, Kevin. Great stuff. Any tip who'll make the 5 or who'll win the premiership?
Well, no, but hopefully that we might be in there next year.
Yeah!
Tonight's game is a part of the Elders IXL 1988 VFL Premiership season.
In round 22, the best is certainly still to come, but let's take a look at the ladder now and concentrating on the bottom half. And Richmond finishing up with 32 points and a pretty fair percentage in the end too of 85 even. Fitzroy 28 points, 83.8. David Parkin bowing out as a loser tonight, but one is certain that he will return. Let's check the weekend's menu and some great games set down for decision. 4 games tomorrow, the big game at the Park between Essendon and St Kilda. Collingwood play Geelong at Victoria Park. Hawthorn and North Melbourne could be an interesting affair at Princes Park, and Melbourne and Carlton the match of the round at the MCG tomorrow. On Sunday, 2 big games. The Brisbane Bears take on the Sydney Swans. That game is at Carrara. And the big clash out at the Western Oval between Fitzroy and the West Coast Eagles. Don't forget, Saturday night replay tomorrow at 6 o'clock. Carrara, live from the Gold Coast on Sunday. And of course, the big replay on Sunday afternoon at 5 o'clock. The West Coast Eagles and Fitzroy. How will the Fire finish up? Well, you'll certainly find out if you can join us over the weekend. We'll be there. We certainly hope that you can join us.
Who was there when they wrote the story? Who was there in the colours of glory? Who was there when a new star rose? Who was there as each chapter closed? We were there when the mighty fell. We were there when they did it well. Who was there when the boys became the men? We were there and we'll be there again. We'll be there this year, we'll be there. We'll be there, up there, we'll be there. We'll be with you in the hour, and you know what we'll be shouting. We'll be there, I'll be there, we'll be there. We'll be with you in the hour, and you know what we'll be shouting. We'll be there, I'll be there, we'll be there.
VFL Premiership Football, proudly brought to you by Nissan Australia, Carlton and United Breweries, your State Insurance Office and State Bank Victoria.
We'll walk no more at the MCG.
Off the left.
And then the Tigers got down to business.
Almost a sensational mark. Weightman front of the pack. Goal coming up. Great start to the turn by the Tigers.
That was good news for Richmond, and this was bad news for Fitzroy. Gary Pert.
And a fight
down and out.
The trainer's going to cop one here.
Oh, they're right into it.
Has found Hogg. Hogg a clever hand pass.
Then the Tigers got into top machine.
A short one across. Has found Thomson.
Hogg, Egan and Thomson.
Thomson lines up, brings it back. It's another one to the Tigers.
Pim grabbed when he didn't have it. No, Lambert.
Now Lambert.
To Justin Pickering.
And then on to Egan.
Shrugs them off. Goes for goal. And kicks it.
Now those of you who follow sign language, watch closely and work that one out, but perhaps work this one out.
Blistering pace from Michael Mitchell out of the centre. Brilliant play by him.
There was absolutely no holding the Tigers.
Got it.
Here's Wilson.
Sprints to half forward, has a pot shot at the goals, Wilson. Has he put it through? Yes!
What a goal.
Happy 42nd birthday for yesterday.
Thank you very much, Sandy, and had a very enjoyable day, except I've got a bad cold. Now, Friday night, the game between... that was interesting, wasn't it? Friday night between Fitzroy and Richmond was a complete anti-climax, and I think 2 things came out of the game. Firstly, no wonder David Parkin is leaving Fitzroy, and secondly, Richmond have certainly got a future. They're playing young players. They brought in a young kid, Matthew Knights, who looks like being a very good player, number 33. Michael Thompson's hit a bit of form, and on that half-back line, and they're going to be a very good side next year. They're very well coached by Kevin Bartlett. Fitzroy, on the other hand, well, what can you say? I reckon I've never seen a side throw in the towel as much as they did on Friday night. They did not have a fair dinkum go, and they ought to be ashamed of themselves. If Ross Lyon is not in the best 20 players in that club, I'll eat my hat, because fancy him playing in the seconds. Roos, they'd leave it too much to too few, the Fitzroy side. Richmond, on the other hand, were fantastic. Michael Mitchell, great. Michael Pickering up and down that wing, and Jeff Hogg was a great focal point at full forward.
Just a question there, Peter. Was David Parkin's announcement badly timed as things turned out?
I made that point a couple of weeks ago. I don't think a coach should ever announce he's going to win a week before the season. I think that what have the players got to fight for, except their own personal pride, I suppose.
Well, isn't that a lot? You never fight for the coach.
Well, it's a calculated
I think the coach has got a heck of a lot to do with it.
The coach has got nothing. You saw the game yesterday, Melbourne and Carlton. The coach has been saying the same things for weeks, yet Melbourne come out and win.
Should the coach go out at quarter time?
The coach has got...
He never used to, did he?
I think if the players respect the coach and think enough of the coach, they'll give their hearts for the coach and won't want to let him down.
Come on, Peter, you...
Now listen, you've coached 6 games and 6 losses. You've got no reason to even talk.
Peter, a comment you just made about Ross Lyon. Surely no player is above being dropped if he's not performing at the time.
Look, Ross Lyon is in the best 4 players in the Fitzroy Football Club, and he played in the reserves. My votes for the game, I gave Jeffrey Hogg 9 goals. He kicked 9 goals straight, a great performance, and he leads well. Michael Mitchell, a brilliant player, very, very quick, and 3 votes to Michael Pickering, who just runs up and down that ground and a terrific goer.